Hey, we have Caitlin Clark making her USA Senior Camp debut. Caitlin Clark basketball slowly yet surely is creeping up.
You can almost hear the universe laughing, saying checkmate, because A'ja Wilson just got hit with a piece of news that is going to follow her, and likely haunt her for the rest of her career. Caitlin Clark, the very player Wilson has seemingly targeted, just received a golden ticket, an invitation to Team USA's absolutely crucial December training camp. You know, the one that basically decides who gets to wear the red, white, and blue for the World Cup and the Olympics. And where's A'ja Wilson in all this? She's sitting on the sidelines at home, watching it all unfold on her screen. After months and months of throwing subtle and not so subtle shade at Clark, Karma has just rolled up and delivered the ultimate, ice-cold reality check. But before we dive deep into this absolute train wreck for Wilson's public image, I need you to drop your honest opinion down in the comments. Is A'ja Wilson genuinely jealous of Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise? Or is this all just hyper-competitive fire? Because let me tell you, what I'm about to lay out for you might just change your mind completely.
It's noise that I don't really listen to, honestly, because I'm in season. I have other things that we need to worry about than what other people have to say. I have a scout, I have 11 other minds on my team and in my locker room that we got to make sure that we're on the same mindset. So I really can't give you the best answer on that because I really don't pay any attention to it. My goal is just to go out there and be the best that I can be for my teammates, both on and off the court, and we're going to go out there and be us.
So let's break down exactly what just went down. Because honestly, the sheer irony of this situation is almost too perfect to be real. Team USA, which is now being steered by the legendary managing director Sue Bird, has officially announced its roster for the December training camp happening at Duke University. And let me be perfectly clear. This is not just some casual end-of-year get-together where players show up, shoot a few hoops, and go home. Oh no. This camp is the crucible. It determines literally everything that matters for the next 4 years. Who is going to make the 2026 World Cup? Who will get the honor of being selected for the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles? This is the very stage where legacies are forged and careers are defined on a global scale. And can you guess who received that all-important golden invitation? None other than Caitlin Clark. And guess who was conspicuously absent from that list? You guessed it, A'ja Wilson.
Love Caitlin Clark.
Yes.
There's no... I think she's amazing. I watched every time I possibly could. And our league loves her. This has nothing to do... We're just doing our job. We're going to show up. Who is ever on the other team is on the other team. We don't really care. We're going to show up and do us. And so I think this narrative of like everybody hating on Caitlin Clark and even the black and white thing, knock it off. It's not there. It's not there. So shut down the noise. And by the way, what is she, 22? She's a 22-year-old woman with a lot of pressure.
She's not perfect.
She's not perfect. She's a rookie in...
Just let that sink in for a moment. I mean, really absorb the weight of that. The very name A'ja Wilson, who has spent the better part of the last calendar year taking potshots at Clark, launching petty social media campaigns that reeked of desperation, and trying with all her might to convince the world that she is just as marketable and just as valuable as Caitlin Clark, has just been left off the single most important roster in all of women's basketball. Meanwhile, Clark is packing her bags and preparing to not just join the team, but to cement her status as the undeniable face of Team USA for the next decade or more. You honestly could not script a more perfect, more poetic dose of karma if you tried. Karma than this.
Affirmation of the delusion and the insanity of black women. But Nike has this gift in Caitlin Clark. Women's basketball, this gift in Caitlin Clark.
The roster for this camp is an absolute murderer's row, reading like a who's who of the future of women's basketball. Of course, you have Caitlin Clark. You've got Paige Bueckers, who is making her highly anticipated senior national team debut. The phenomenal Juju Watkins, another rising superstar destined for greatness. Angel Reese is on the list, because apparently Team USA wants to keep that intense Clark-Reese rivalry simmering on the international stage. You've also got Cameron Brink and Aaliyah Boston, both incredible and versatile talents. And to round it out, Kelsey Plum and Jackie Young are there, bringing that crucial veteran leadership. This list isn't just a roster, it's a blueprint for Team USA's next era of global dominance. And A'ja Wilson's name is absolutely nowhere to be found on it. Now, before Wilson's most loyal fans come rushing to her defense, let's be crystal clear about what this decision truly means. This isn't really about questioning Wilson's talent as a pure basketball player. Nobody in their right mind is denying that she has been an elite force in the WNBA. The woman has won MVPs. She's won championships. She has been a dominant presence in the league for years. But here's the cold hard truth. Being good at basketball, even great at basketball, simply isn't enough anymore for Team USA. They need players who can do more. Players who can represent American basketball on the world stage with charisma and class. Players who can attract massive global audiences. Players who can elevate the entire program and the sport itself. And right now, at this moment in time, Caitlin Clark does all of those things better than anyone else in women's basketball. And that includes A'ja Wilson. Sue Bird, one of the greatest players in basketball history, and arguably the sharpest basketball mind in the women's game, did not make this decision on a whim. She knows precisely what it takes to win on the international stage. She knows the kind of players who thrive in FIBA competition. She knows what Team USA needs to not only maintain its dominance, but also to grow the global appeal of women's basketball. When Bird looks at Caitlin Clark, she sees the total package. When she looks at the current situation with A'ja Wilson, she apparently sees something that just doesn't fit the vision they are building. And let's talk about that vision, because it provides crucial context for why Clark got the invite and Wilson didn't. Team USA isn't just in the business of winning games anymore. They are on a mission to grow the sport globally. They are actively trying to attract new generations of fans. They're trying to maximize their commercial appeal and leverage their massive platform to elevate women's basketball worldwide. Clark brings all of that to the table without even trying. Her games don't just get good ratings. They break all-time viewership records. Her jersey sales don't just lead the league. They crush everyone else's numbers combined. Her social media engagement dwarfs that of every other player. Companies aren't just interested in her. They are lining up checkbooks in hand to partner with her. Kids all over the world want to pick up a basketball because of her. That is precisely the kind of seismic impact Team USA wants at the very center of its program.
Yeah, she's pretty incredible. I mean, you watch her and it's unguardable. There's nothing anybody can do to stop it. Like, she's just that dominant, whether it's her mid-range game, she can put it on the floor. She's just so athletic, but also she affects the game on both ends. Like, she's a really good defensive player, great rim protector, just so athletic. And obviously, she's been able to shoot the three pretty well this year too. So it's fun to watch. I mean, like I said, like, everybody in the league knows you can't guard it. You basically just live with what she's going to do to you every single night. It's just you contain it as best you can, and she's going to make some shots that are really tough. And like I said, like it's going to be a tall task. It's going to take multiple people. You just hope to contain it the best you can.
Now, let's hit rewind for a minute and talk about how we arrived at this pivotal moment. Because A'ja Wilson's reaction to Clark's ascent has been one long, cringeworthy, and frankly embarrassing display of jealousy and deep-seated insecurity. It really kicked into high gear with the Nike deal. When Clark signed her colossal endorsement contract with Nike, one of the biggest deals in the history of women's sports, Wilson couldn't just step back and let Clark have her moment. Oh no, that wasn't going to happen. Wilson had to launch her pathetic "I Have a Shoe Too" campaign, plastering pictures of her own Nike sneakers all over social media like a toddler demanding attention at someone else's birthday party. The desperation was so thick you could cut it with a knife. Instead of celebrating a monumental win for all of women's basketball and recognizing that a rising tide like Clark's deal lifts all boats, Wilson made it all about herself and just looked petty in the process. Then of course came the endless stream of cryptic social media posts. "What is delayed is not denied" became Wilson's go-to mantra, posted over and over again as Clark's star continued its meteoric rise. The implication was painfully clear. Wilson firmly believed she deserved the exact same level of recognition and commercial success as Clark, and she was just biding her time. The only problem? That moment never came. Because, while Wilson was busy posting inspirational quotes about patience, Clark was out there actually earning her success through unparalleled performance, a magnetic personality, and an unprecedented impact on the sport. The Time Athlete of the Year award seems to be what really broke Wilson. When Caitlin Clark became the first women's basketball player ever to receive this prestigious honor, Wilson's social media activity went into absolute overdrive. She started liking posts from trolls that questioned whether Clark even deserved the award. She shared content suggesting that other athletes were more worthy. The level of saltiness was flowing at a rate that would make the Dead Sea jealous. Instead of seeing this as a massive breakthrough for women's basketball, with one of their own finally getting that level of mainstream recognition, Wilson chose to be bitter about someone else's achievement. Then came the moment Wilson tried to claim she makes the same speaking fees as Clark. Let's all just pause for a second and appreciate how utterly delusional that statement is. Caitlin Clark is, without question, the most sought-after athlete in women's sports right now. Corporations are throwing astronomical sums of money at her just to show up at their events. She can command fees that no other female athlete, with the possible exception of Serena Williams in her prime, has ever been able to demand. And Wilson wants us all to believe she's playing in the same financial stratosphere. The claim was so patently ridiculous that it actually made people feel sorry for her, because it laid bare just how deeply insecure she is about Clark's commercial dominance. Every single milestone Clark achieved seemed to trigger another Wilson meltdown. Clark breaks rookie record. Wilson posts about veteran experience and paying dues. Clark leads her team to the playoffs. Wilson starts talking about championship pedigree. Clark gets featured in mainstream media. Wilson complains about media bias. The pattern was both exhausting and completely transparent. Wilson simply could not let Clark enjoy a single moment of success without trying to either diminish it or desperately redirect the attention back to herself. And so, here we are. The ultimate validation of everything Clark has accomplished and the ultimate public rejection of Wilson's entire approach. Team USA's leadership looked at these two incredible athletes. They evaluated their skills, their leadership qualities, their marketability, and their overall fit with the program's future. And they chose Clark. And they didn't just choose Clark, they left Wilson at home entirely. That isn't a neutral decision. That's an active statement about where they see the future of women's basketball heading. The coaching staff for this camp includes WNBA head coaches like Kara Lawson, Natalie Nakase, Nate Tibbetts, and Stephanie White. These are not people who make emotional knee-jerk decisions. They are seasoned professional basketball minds who evaluate talent objectively. They've watched both Clark and Wilson compete at the highest level. They've seen how Clark elevates her teammates, how she performs under immense pressure, how she handles her media responsibilities with grace, and how she represents the sport. And they've apparently seen whatever it is Wilson has been doing and decided it's not what they need right now. Clark's teammate Aaliyah Boston will also be at this camp, which creates a fascinating dynamic. Clark and Boston developed an incredible on-court chemistry during their time with the Indiana Fever. Boston's defensive prowess and interior scoring are the perfect complement to Clark's perimeter brilliance. You can bet the Team USA coaches will be watching that partnership very closely, because if it translates to international competition, the way it worked in the WNBA, those two could form the unshakable foundation of Team USA's lineup for years to come. Meanwhile, Wilson is at home, watching her former teammate prepare to build international chemistry with someone else. The sheer volume of young talent at this camp is extraordinary. Paige Bueckers is one of the most skilled players to come out of college basketball in a decade. Juju Watkins is already drawing comparisons to the sport's all-time greats. These players represent the next generation of American basketball excellence, and they are all coming into this camp as Caitlin Clark's peers and potential teammates, not Aja Wilson. That palpable shift in generational focus has to sting for Wilson, who probably envisioned herself as the veteran leader who would guide these young phenoms. Instead, Caitlin Clark gets that role. What's truly fascinating is how fundamentally different Clark and Wilson are in their approach to success and recognition. Clark constantly deflects praise to her teammates. She talks about team accomplishments over individual awards. Her social media content is focused on celebrating others and promoting the sport. When she wins, she's gracious. When she loses, she takes responsibility. That authenticity resonates deeply with fans, and clearly it resonates with Team USA's decision-makers. Wilson, on the other hand, has made almost everything about herself. Her posts center on her achievements, her recognition, her status. When things don't go her way, there's always an excuse or someone else to blame. That self-centered approach might work when you're the undisputed top dog, but it becomes a massive liability when someone else starts getting more attention. The commercial aspect of this decision cannot be overstated either. Team USA operates in a business environment. Just like any other major sports organization, they need sponsorships. They need lucrative broadcast deals. They need to sell tickets. Caitlin Clark brings all of that in ways Wilson simply does not. Clark's Nike deal created genuine mainstream cultural buzz. Her television appearances cause ratings to spike. Her games sell out arenas across the country. Her social media posts generate engagement that most professional sports franchises would kill for. When international broadcasters are at the negotiating table for the rights to Team USA games, they are going to pay a premium if Caitlin Clark is on that roster. That's just simple economic reality. Forbes recognized Clark's massive business impact by including her on their prestigious 30 Under 30 list. That recognition came because Clark transcends basketball. She's a cultural phenomenon who drives consumer behavior across multiple industries. Wilson has never come close to achieving that level of crossover appeal. She's a basketball player who is fantastic at basketball. Clark is a cultural force who also happens to play basketball. There is a monumental difference between those two things. And Team USA clearly understands which one serves their long-term interests better. Clark's crossover into the world of golf has been genuinely remarkable. The LPGA Tour has embraced her. Professional golfers are lining up to play with her. Golf brands want to sponsor her. She's single-handedly bringing basketball fans to golf tournaments, and golf fans to basketball games. That is the kind of multi-sport influence that expands everyone's audience. Wilson has never generated that kind of interest in any sport outside of basketball. She is one-dimensional in her appeal, and that fundamentally limits her value to organizations that are trying to grow their global reach. The viewing numbers are undeniable. Clark's games consistently drew significantly higher ratings than any other WNBA player. Streaming services saw massive subscription spikes when her team played. Road arenas that would normally be half empty were sold out weeks in advance when Clark came to town. Local businesses near those visiting arenas reported increased revenue on Clark game day. She literally created economic activity wherever she went. Wilson's games draw solid numbers, but they have never created the same kind of economic impact or cultural moment that Clark's appearances consistently generate. So now Wilson has to sit at home and watch Clark prepare for the very opportunities that define international basketball careers. The 2026 World Cup will give Clark a global stage to showcase her skills against the best players from every continent. The 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles will be played in front of adoring home crowds who will absolutely lose their minds watching Clark lead Team USA. These are the moments that transform great players into immortal legends. These are the stages that athletes dream about their entire life, and Caitlin Clark gets to experience all of them, while A'ja Wilson watches from her television. The very construction of this camp roster suggests that Team USA is building its entire future around Clark for the long term. They're surrounding her with a core of young talent who can grow and develop with her over the next Olympic cycle. They are building chemistry right now that will pay massive dividends for years to come. This isn't about one tournament or one competition. This is about establishing the foundation for Team USA's next dynasty. And Caitlin Clark is the cornerstone of that foundation, not A'ja Wilson. Wilson's months of jealous behavior and petty online campaigns have completely and utterly backfired. Every single attempt she made to diminish Clark's accomplishments only served to highlight her own insecurity. Every cryptic social media post just made her look desperate for attention. Every boastful claim about her own success only emphasized how much further ahead Clark already is in terms of real-world impact and influence. Wilson tried to tear Caitlin Clark down, and in the end she only succeeded in exposing her own weaknesses. The coaching staff at this camp will evaluate every single facet of these players' games, their skills, their leadership, their coachability, their chemistry with teammates, and their ability to handle pressure. Clark will excel in all of those areas, because she's been doing it at the highest level since she was in college. She knows how to perform when the entire world is watching. She knows how to make her teammates better. She knows how to represent the sport with class and professionalism. And those qualities matter just as much as points per game or rebounds when Team USA is making its final legacy-defining roster decisions. So there you have it. A'ja Wilson spent months trying to convince everyone that she's on Caitlin Clark's level. And Team USA just answered that question definitively and brutally. What do you think? Is this decision completely fair, or did A'ja Wilson get snubbed? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want more coverage of this unfolding drama, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.